Relationship, one of the most challenging things in life, right? I don't know why you are here. When I say relationship, do you think about relationship with your partner? Do you think about relationship with a friend, with a parent, with a child? But I want you today to focus on one relationship, to choose one, because we are going to work a little bit and inquire. Okay. Sometimes when I sit meditation and we sit meditation, things can come to us. We can thoughts about someone, anger, emotions, worries, regrets. And when I say meditation, it doesn't mean that you need to sit half an hour zazen when you are just before bed, wanting to fall asleep. When you wake up in the morning and suddenly you think about something that is bothering you, when you're in a traffic jam, when you are with yourself in a second waiting, who do you think about? And those people are the people that needs a little bit more attention from you. It means that the relationship needs attention. I remember that my father used to say, relationship is like a flower. If you don't water it, it will die. When I was young, I thought more about spending time together, going to a movie, going to a hike. But today I understand, after 20 years of working with people and holding a lot of relationship myself, that the main problems is that we are putting so much on a relationship, so much of our expectations, our demands, our needs, ideas, beliefs, imprints, all of that, criticism, right? Blame. We are putting on this beautiful plant with gentle flowers. Sometimes it's a wild plant, depends on the relationship, but we are putting all that on this plant and there is no air. It cannot survive happily. It cannot flower. So the first stage, and I want you again to focus on one relationship for now that you want to work on, is owning our parts. And this is the hardest part, to own our parts. I work a lot with couples and with the parents and children and working on relationships. And the first session is always, what is your part in this mess? Parts in your relationship that can burden, can hurt, can suffocate this plant. So we'll start with going back to the childhood, understanding, if it's about your partner, what did you see as a child between your parents? What did you see about, what did you learn about marriage, about love? What did you learn about loyalty? What did you learn about friends? Can you trust people? Can you trust friends? Your parents had really good friends, or it was more for socializing? What did you learn about trusting business partners, about colleagues? All of that is still part of it, is still in your mind. Many times we do years of work, but still you can hear yourself saying something that your mother said. And nobody wants to be like our parents. Why to be like our parents? We want to upgrade. I want my kids to upgrade as well. Every generation should upgrade, right? The personality. What do you recognize that you bring into it? Jealousy, getting offended easily, anger. So the homework is, and this is only the first stage of this webinar, is after, write a list of things that you recognize that you bring into your relationships with your friend, with your partner, with a colleague. I don't know who you chose. A child is always complicated, a parent, yeah? And owning that. Owning that, it's a relief. And then the next stage is also being very open with this person. Yesterday, I had a session with a young woman, and she's starting to practice relationships. And she had a beautiful relationship with a man, and he came to her and decided to cut the relationship. And instead of, and she was really hurt. She loved him. It was a short relationship. She's practicing, but it was real for her. And instead of crying, and crying would be the authentic feeling, right? You get hurt. You want to cry. She was pretending like, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I will not give him the pleasure, she told me, to know that I'm hurt. This is totally ego, right? And she's working with me for years, since she was 14. And where I was laughing and saying, wow, because the shift can happen when you are real. When you are getting hurt and you are real and authentic, it's magic. It can really transform the other person. But if you pretend that you're okay putting a mask or attack, anger, think about that. A friend is calling you and telling you, another friend wasn't okay with me. She behaved like that. She offended me. Criticism, telling her the story about this person through your lenses, right? That you're okay and she's. So a friend that is not awake will take your side and will tell you, oh, poor you, you are the victim and she wasn't okay or he wasn't okay. This is a not awakened mind. An awakened mind understand that the anger and criticism is not a real authentic feeling usually. And just to blame the other and to attack will not bring growth. What I want in life, basically to myself and people around you, is to grow, to upgrade my personality, to grow, to develop, to understand, right? To be awake. If my mind chooses to attack and to blame and criticize, I know that there is fear. I know that the wall is there and the mask is there because it touched something real. As a child, maybe you had to behave like that. You had to protect yourself. It was necessary for you or to attack back or to withdraw to your room. And or to criticize, right? Or to blame or to suppress yourself and not to show yourself. It was necessary. It was a survival mechanism that you had to hold in order to survive. Because I don't know, you know why, because of your parents, because of things you went through in life, because bullying at school, because we have a lot of reasons, unfortunately, in this world to protect ourselves. So it was necessary. But then today we understand that sometimes we still have masks. We still have walls. And when there is a wall, there is separation. It's so painful. When I came here to the States 6 years ago, Israel, there is a totally different mentality and energy. So I came here and I started immediately to work with people in LA. I came back after a few days and I said to my husband, the worst disease here is loneliness. I was so sad. I saw people that are surrounded with friends, surrounded with coworkers, but are so lonely. Going to bed even with their partner next to a human being alive, sleeping next to them and feeling so lonely and not seen. And I said, oh my gosh, so much work, so much work. And I still see it, but people that choose growth, and it's not always perfect. And many times we are hurt and put a mask and it's totally fine. But if you choose this path of inner growth, you choose to take it off sometimes, to be vulnerable, to know that you will not die, that you're not this young child anymore that couldn't protect herself or himself. And you need a lot of courage. For this work, we need courage. It's huge. It's huge. So coming back to taking responsibility of our own part and then communicating it. And the mind, part of us that decided to protect us, we have a protector inside, right? That saved us basically in early age. But this part is truly, truly afraid. And it thinks it's dangerous. It's not worth it. It's better to withdraw. It's better to be quiet. It's better to attack and make a drama, and all those ways to communicate will not work. Some people communicate through emotions. Suddenly they lash out. Suddenly you're dramatic, you're offended, you are angry. You're using words that usually you don't use in daily life. Everybody experienced that, right? You're just totally in your heart. There is beauty, by the way. When I see kids like my kids like that, I see pure beauty because they're totally invested in the anger right now. And all of them becomes just a ball of emotions. And I'm not laughing when I'm like that. It's not nice. But inside I'm saying, wow, good for them. But for sure, you're not clear in those moments. You cannot be clear and really change a contract. We'll talk a lot today about changing contract. You cannot really create new reality. You're just, and after that, usually you feel really good. I mean, you feel calmer. Maybe you blame yourself a little bit, but you feel calmer. You just, it's like going into a punching bag and hitting for an hour. You feel better after. So this is one way to communicate. Other ways is just to withdraw. And then you start this terrible process of suffering, of overthinking, of analyzing. What did I do wrong? Maybe they're not good enough. I'm not good enough. Trying to understand things alone by yourself, while in relationship, you cannot see the whole picture. You have no chance to do that. And just create suffering with your mind. This is very hard. And we're trying to avoid it as much as possible. So what will be a good and healthy way to communicate? And I'm using the word contract, and many times I use the word family business in purpose, even though it's words of the mind, right? Because many times we see the relationship through the eyes of the heart. We're too emotional about that. We are involved, we are attached, and then we are just trying to survive in the water, in the ocean, and sometimes we drown. So when I talk about changing contracts, I'm talking about family business. I'm saying you invested 10 years, 15 years, 2 years, 1 month in this relationship, in this business, right? This business hopefully has a vision, even if it's a friend, or for sure if it's a business partner. You have a vision together. And sometimes the vision can be something practical that you do together, like bringing, children or building a house or a business. But sometimes it's just to grow together. You have this attraction to this friend and you want to grow together. You're curious. You want to get to know this person better. There is a vision to go deeper, to go further away in the journey together. And I really believe that you are together in order to help each other grow. It's not supposed to be perfect. No friendship supposed to be perfect, because then you don't grow. It's dead. It's supposed to bring challenges. It's supposed to bring, thoughts and emotion and touch you in so many ways. So knowing that, you're not afraid anymore. You know that this road will have a lot of bumps. It will not be smooth. And you also know that this person is in your life. It's especially for you to grow. And that's what I do with my student. I always show them the beautiful side about that. I had a session this week with someone complaining about her dad. I mean, this is usual, people complain about their parents, right? And my dad is this, my dad in that. I'm trying to prepare myself to something, and he's going to and brings in, talking about other things, criticizing me. I just need quiet for the next 2 months. And I showed her how it's just perfect for her right now. I showed her how it's just perfect for inner growth right now to have this challenge. And I don't want to go into too many details, but to have this challenge with her parents, with her father, for her to grow. And I can really see how, because I know her for a while, how it will serve her perfectly in this time of her life. And many times when we are seeing the relationship through the eyes of the mind or the heart, we don't see it. We don't see that it's perfect. And many times when we let go of one relationship, it will come in another form through another person, because we are here to grow. So when I recognize challenge in my personal life, part of me is excited because I have the system and I know how to work already with those challenges. Oh my gosh, my journey was crazy. So I know how to really handle and process big waves and small waves. I'm excited. I know, interesting. What just happened? Interesting. And this is the state of mind that is really supporting inner growth. It's not like, oh man, like sitting and sharing the tiredness, the burden. Again, he did that. Again, we are. No, this is complaining, and this is drowning. It's more like, yeah, I have more work to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a winner. I'm going to understand what is my part, to understand what is the challenge, and to try to bring the growth and the wisdom into the relationship.